Why is it so dark? Why is it so hard for me to open my eyes? Little by little, I'm able to see. At first, things were a blur. I see red and blue flashing lights against the night sky. Dazed and confused, I continue to fight to see clearly. Now I can see clearly. Wait, this isn't right. I feel myself floating, like I am as light as a feather. I scream, "Help!" as loud as I can, but no one hears me. I see men and women in the distance in uniforms. They are wearing white gloves, carrying silver cases, and marking off my home with yellow crime scene tape. I continue to yell, "Help!" but I am still being ignored. I look around to see what the commotion is about, and that's when it hits me. I am dead. We are dead. My lifeless body is in front of the back door. Blood is oozing out of the back of my head, and there are stab wounds on my arms and my back. There are also cuts on my hands and a bloody handprint. 2 of them to be exact. One on the door and the other on the doorknob. I tried to escape, but I'm not sure from who. It was dark. My memory's still fuzzy. In order to figure out what happened, I have to keep looking around. After staring at my lifeless body for a few more minutes, I start to wonder about my family. My family. I have my mom and dad, 2 brothers, and my best friend. We were having a sleepover. I immediately go into panic mode and frantically search the house for my family and my best friend. I wander into the kitchen and it's in disarray, like there was a really bad fight. As I move around the kitchen, that's when I find her. My mother. It looks like she was trying to hide in a space between the china cabinet and the wall. She didn't make it. And from the looks of it, whoever did this made sure she died. Stab wounds, cuts, and strangulation? What kind of monster would do this to a mother and a daughter? As I grieve for my mother, I start to wonder how my brothers and my father feel. I know they are hurting, but my dad is a state prosecutor, one of the best in the country. He will not let whoever did this to me and my mom get away with it. As hope fills my heart, I round the corner to get into the living room. Immediately, my hopes were dashed. There he is, my superhero, the toughest guy I know, aka my dad. The living room, just like the dining room, was in disarray. Lamps were broken, a table was knocked over, the television was missing, and the living room table was completely broken. His lifeless body lay on top of the broken living room table. He was battered, bruised, cut, and stabbed. As I inch closer in horror, I realized that the knife was left in his body. He was stabbed straight in his heart. I start to sob uncontrollably. All I can say is why. Why would someone do this to our family? Then the rush comes over me. It's a mix between fear and heartache. My 2 brothers. Where are they? I dash around the living room, kitchen, laundry room, dining, and even check the sunroom. Nothing. My heart starts pounding faster and louder as I race up the stairs to find my brothers. Before I can even get all the way upstairs, I see him. My oldest brother's lifeless body in the hallway. A pool of blood surrounds his body. He too was battered, stabbed, and tried to escape, just like me. Or was he? I noticed that my younger brother's door to his room was slightly ajar. My hopes come and went in a split second, like lightning. I slowly inched the door open. To my surprise, there is nothing wrong so far. The room is clean, except for a few toys, shoes, and sporting equipment, but that was normal. As I inch further into his room, he looks normal, like he's just laying in bed sleeping. As much as I want to breathe a sigh of relief, this nagging feeling won't let me. The covers are pulled up over his head, something else he always does. After realizing that my parents, my older brother, and I are dead, I do not want to pull back the covers. I want to walk away with a little hope in my heart. Unfortunately, my curiosity will not let me leave his room. I have to know. I inch closer to the head of the bed. It feels like my heart is in my ears. As I stand there, I am still fighting with myself. Do I pull the covers back or walk out of the room? Forget it. I will count to 3 and pull the covers back. 1, 2, 3. At first, I don't see anything. It's too dark. I feel for his heartbeat. There isn't one. I frantically search again. Still nothing. As I feel for his neck to try and find a pulse, I realize his pillow is wet. I rub my hands together. Being that it's still too dark, I walk over to the window. I use the flashing blue and red lights in the full moon to help me find out what the substance is. My worst fears have come true. My precious baby brother is dead as well. Overcome with grief, I collapse to the floor and cry my eyes out. The only words that come out of my mouth is why. All of a sudden, my crying stops. I hear footsteps and voices. I also hear more sirens. They get louder and louder. Immediately, I rush downstairs. My crying quickly becomes rage. As I walk around, I see police officers walking around with flashlights, detectives on the phone with notepads and pens. I also see the crime scene investigators. A couple of them open their silver cases with fancy tools. They are marking things off, dusting, and putting things in bags. I go over to my mom and see this CSI guy taking pictures of her lifeless body. No, 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 I scream. That is my mom. Why are you guys here? Why are you doing this? Of course no one can hear me, so I step in front of the camera and try to shield my mother's body as much as possible. That doesn't stop them at all. They continue to snap pictures. Sweetie, it's okay. You are not alone, says a familiar voice. I turn around to see my mom standing there.